Hey, my name's Austin, and today we're going to go through a short training on how to use the Quik app. This is a very powerful product, but really at its core, it's quite simple. It's a way to find forms you need when it's time to fill them out. It's a way to pre-fill those forms with client information to save you time, and then a way to launch them and then finish them off by either printing to PDF or sending them off to be e-signed. So let's go through it. Everyone starts on our login page here, and check out the URL. It's quikformsapp.com/login. So bookmark this because this is how you're going to access the Quik app. And you'll enter your username and password, which you have provided to you by Quik. And we're going to log in by clicking on this red arrow. So starting here on the home screen, if it's your first time logging in, we recommend setting up your account before you actually start using it. So to do that, you're going to go up to the hamburger menu at the top, select Settings, and here in the settings you'll see a few different tabs, and each one of these allows you to control a different aspect of your account. So here on the Account tab, you can change a lot of your personal information, some branding options to upload your own logo if that's what you'd like to do. In My Data, this is where you add rep records or financial advisor records to your account. And to do that, you'll just click this red Add Record button. There's a lot of different fields you can fill out. The only required ones are first name, last name, and email. Everything else is optional. So fill out as much information as you have, click Add Record, and it'll be added to your account. And you can add as many reps to your account as you want. It's not going to affect your billing in any way. And I'll cover where you'll be able to select those in a few minutes here. User management is where you can add users to your account. Each user will have their own login credentials. And finally, the Integrations tab. This is where you connect to some of your other products that you use. So your CRM, so either a Redtail account or your Salesforce account, other CRMs that we're adding. DocuSign, if you have a DocuSign account, you connect that here, as well as Signix. So connecting to any of these apps, you're going to start with this red Add button. So for example, if we want to connect to a Redtail account, you'll give it a name, enter your username and password that you use to log into Redtail. You can test that connection to make sure those credentials are valid. Assuming they are, you'll click Add, and now you'll have a connection to your Redtail account. Very similar to DocuSign and Signix, just clicking Add, giving it a name, entering your credentials at each of those services. You can also select which environment you use at both DocuSign or Signix. Either way, click Add, and now you will have established that connection to your accounts. So a quick note about, there's different options here that maybe you might not see when you go into your settings account. That's because you are a user. And in the Quik app, there's two different types of users. There's admins and users with a capital U. And users don't have quite all the permissions that admins do. So if you don't see, say, either of these e-sign connections available, or maybe you don't see users management at all, these are all different kind of restrictions on your account, and your admin will take care of that for you. So quick note, just in case you're confused, you don't see any of these. So once everything's set up, first time you log in, click Save and Return. You're going to go back here to the home screen. And now I want to show you just kind of the basic workflow, start to finish, on how to complete your forms. So the first step is to actually find the forms you're going to work on. So click over here and find forms. There's a few different ways to choose your forms. One of our most popular features is the concept of form bundles. So I'm going to show that first. A form bundle really is just a logical grouping of forms that you use over and over. So what you can do is set up a bundle and do that once, whatever forms you need to it. And now, whenever you use that group of forms in the future, you don't have to search for them every time. They're all set up for you. You can just select your bundle and move on. There's also two different types of bundles I want to mention. There's My Form bundles and Public Form bundles. My Form bundles are set up by you, and they are associated to your account only. No one else can see them. Whereas Public Form bundles are set up by an admin at your firm. And once they do that, everyone sees the same group of Public Form bundles because they assume that they'll be useful for everyone who has an account. They both work in a very similar way. So with My Form bundles, I'm going to choose this Trustman IRA account opening bundle I created. And you see on the right, here are those 3 forms that are in it and the results. They've all been checked and selected. So now they've all been added to my shopping cart. See this 3 up here next to the cart icon. Click on that to open up your shopping cart. You can do this at any time, see what's in there, move to next steps from here as well. So that's one way to choose forms. You can also add forms individually. Here in the All tab is where you can search for forms individually by just selecting the company. So I can search here for maybe American Funds, click on it, and on the right you'll see the results of all the forms we have. You can see we have 102 American Funds forms. And if you want to, you can select these, add them to your cart. Keep doing this as many times as you want, any companies that we have. I'll deselect this for now. You'll also notice that these star icons next to the company names, this is how you follow a company. So click on a star, add it to your followed companies list, which is this tab right here. And really this is just a way to whittle down all the options you see, kind of reduce any unnecessary companies that aren't relevant to you, so you can just focus on the ones that matter. So it's just a way to save time and kind of get you moving along faster. So either way, you can also search by form name. Click Show Advanced Search. You could search by ID, literature number, a lot of different options here to actually choose forms. So let's say I'm happy with these forms now, these 3 in my shopping cart, and I'm going to move to the next step, which is adding clients. So the first thing you're going to see on this page probably is these boxes with different roles in them. What these are these are the roles that have spaces for client information on the forms in your shopping cart. So across the 3 forms in my cart, I have spaces to add 2 owners' information, a custodian, 2 beneficiaries, etc. So this list dynamically changes based on which forms you have in your cart. And now we're just going to add people to those roles for those who we want to pre-fill. So you can see that my selected CRM is my Redtail CRM that I've already added to my account. And now it's just a matter of searching for people in my CRM and then assigning them to a role. So in this case, let's say Peter Parker called me up and he wanted to open this Trustman IRA account. So I'm going to search for Peter Parker here. Here he is. I'll select him and add him as the owner on this account. And I can keep going down the list and adding as many more as I want. So let's say I know Mary Jane is going to be a beneficiary. I can search for Mary, select her, add her as a beneficiary, etc. Very similar process for as many of these as you want to fill out. Let's just say I'm happy with these 2 here, and I'm going to move to the launch stage. That's the last step here. So click on launch. This is just a review page where I can see the 3 forms that are in my cart, the 2 clients that I've added to them. I can also select my own advisor information here. So I remember earlier when I showed you how to add rep records. If you choose this drop down, this is Tom Trustman. Here's the one record I have added myself. I can also choose which advisor number I want to use. And then finally, the e-sign connection. Let's say I wanted Peter and Mary Jane to DocuSign these forms. So I can click this drop down, select my DocuSign account. Everything looks good, and now I'm going to launch these forms by clicking Launch Forms. So at this point, the system is calling the Quik database to get the blank templates of the forms. It's calling Redtail to get Peter and Mary Jane's information, and it's merging the 2 together in the back end. So here it is. The Quik form viewer. It opened in another tab in my browser. And yeah, I'll talk about the different aspects of the viewer here. So here's Peter's information here, all pre-filled in the main window where you see the actual forms. And this is all listed in the same scrollable window. So I could either scroll down, I could jump page to page on the right here. I could even choose the forms just by clicking on their names below that. Either case, everything pre-fills the same way. And there is a major feature of this viewer I want to mention first. So that is this concept of progressive fill. This is a way to save you time when it comes to actually manually entering information. So let's say I didn't have Peter's middle name in my Redtail account for whatever reason. I wanted to add that. So I'm going to click on middle name, type it in, Ben. Now if I jump to anywhere else in this bundle that asks for a middle name, let's say form number 3, it automatically gets pre-filled. This is just a feature of Quik. You only have to type in repetitive information once, and it flows throughout the entire bundle. And it goes both directions, so to speak. So if I were to change Peter's name to John, and I come back up to the first page, that gets changed automatically as well. So huge time saver, a way to finish these forms a lot faster. So that's working on the form itself. When it's time to kind of move to the next steps, there's a few options for that. So that's where these buttons at the top come in. And I'll talk about a few of these. So save. So let's say you're working on this form. For whatever reason you get interrupted, you have to come back to it later. So you can click save, give it a name, something like Peter Zyra. Click save, and now it's going to be saved into my Quik app account that I can access it at a later time. So I'm going to see a little success message pop up here. So here is that message. The form has been saved. Now I can go back into my Quik app account and go to the saved forms section here. And here's Peter's IRA that I just saved. And at a later time, I could always just click on it. Here are those 3 forms. I could either add forms that I've forgotten to add earlier, or I could remove them by clicking on this red X. I could reorder them. Either way, I'll just click launch. And what that's going to do is pull the form back out from your system. Here it is. Looks exactly the same. You've got all the same data on the form, and now you can just keep working on it. A few notes about the saved forms feature. They say they're saved for 30 days. After that, they'll be automatically purged from our system. And also, if you save a form and any of these forms get updated while it's saved before you finish working on it, if you relaunch them, you're always going to see the latest version of the form. Just based on the way that we publish forms, you're always going to get that latest version, and you're never going to lose the bundle. If something gets updated, you'll just see the same data. It might just be rearranged slightly depending on the update, but either way, you'll have the latest version. So now I can keep working on this form, and a couple more buttons to talk about here. So the print button, this is how you get the PDF. Obviously this is just a web page. If I want this form in PDF version, I'll click print. Downloads the PDF right into my browser. I'll open it up and show you. It's the same exact forms, it's the same exact data, all here. And now you just done PDF format, so you can print it out to paper, you can save it to your computer, whatever you need to do. A lot of people ask, can I make changes to the PDF after it's been printed? The answer is yes, and that's actually up to you. So back here on the launch page, let me go choose a form again just to show you. Here was that bundle I had earlier. On the launch page, there's a checkbox right here, print editable PDF. It's unchecked by default. But if I had checked that and clicked launch forms, then the PDF that gets printed, you can actually change information on. Right now, I can't, so I can't type in and make changes, but you have that option if you want to. Finally, the sign button. So this is how Quik integrates with our e-sign partners, either DocuSign or Signix. And, you know, Quik views e-sign as really the last step of the form filling process. So before you click the sign button, make sure everything's been filled out. All you need to do on the form is add signatures, because clients or signers can't make any changes to the form when it's actually in DocuSign or Signix. All they can do is add signatures when they're accessing those with Quik. The reason we do that is because it's just a way to simplify things. There's no trying to track who should be allowed to change what, who saw what's been changed. This is just everyone's on the same page. The form's done. We just need signatures. So when you're at that point, you'll click the sign button. You'll see this little pop-up. And really all you have to do here is enter the names and emails of each role that you want someone to sign for. So in this case, let's say I wanted Peter to sign. I'll just type in his email. And I want the rep myself to sign, so I have that as well. There's a couple other DocuSign or Signix configurations you can make. But ultimately, you'll just enter their information, click send, and then based on the order that's assigned here on the left in this order column, these signers are going to get the same email, and that's this email right here. Please e-sign these forms. Here they are. There's going to be a link for them to click, which they can then click, open the form up in either DocuSign or Signix, and click, point and click to add their signatures. That's really it. All the forms are e-signable by design. There's no real setup you have to do. Quik does a lot of that heavy lifting when we build the forms to begin with. So that is the basic process from start to finish. Hope that helped you with how to work with the Quik app. Earlier I mentioned this blue help button. Again, if you ever get stuck, click on this help button. And in here you can either search for articles. So let's say, how do I make a form bundle? I could search bundle, and you'll get the results, how to manage my form bundles, and you can click on that, get some instructions. If you're still stuck, feel free to click this live chat button, and you'll be connected with one of our support team members, and you guys can have a live chat, and they'll help you out, get you where you need to go. And that's about it. If you have any questions, you can always contact our support team via email as well. That email is listed below this video. And thanks so much for watching.